Greetings, horror enthusiasts. Tonight I've got a bone-chilling tale for you that still sends shivers down my spine. This is Forest of Fear, Encounter with Mystery and Menace. It all began 2 years ago during my sophomore year in a small New England college town. My roommate, Jake, and I decided to escape the suffocating atmosphere of campus and head into the national forest that loomed nearby. Little did we know our quest for solace would plunge us into a nightmarish ordeal. The air was thick with the scent of pine as we ventured deeper into the forest. Our plan was simple: find a quiet spot, light a fire, and drown our sorrows. The breakup I was going through weighed heavy on my mind, and Jake, being the supportive friend he was, suggested we take a break from reality. As the sun dipped below the horizon, we stumbled upon a clearing with a breathtaking view of a ghost town in the distance. Abandoned houses stood like specters, a testament to a forgotten era. The eerie silence of the place sent a shiver down my spine, but we dismissed it as a mere product of our overactive imaginations. Settling down near a large rock, we began our chill session, the crackling fire casting eerie shadows. That's when we saw it. 2 cars emerging from the shadows. Armed men clad in dark clothing disembarked, handguns glinting in the firelight. Panic gripped us as we realized we were not alone. From our concealed vantage point, we watched in terror as the men assembled, forming a circle around a pit. In the pit, they began burning strange objects, emitting an otherworldly glow. The forest seemed to hold its breath, and our hearts pounded in rhythm with the unsettling ritual. Fear clenched my chest as I whispered to Jake, "We need to get out of here." We crawled away, silent as shadows, desperate not to attract their attention. Our minds raced with visions of horror movies come to life, and every snap of a twig underfoot felt like an alarm bell. We were almost clear when Jake's foot caught on a root, sending a chilling snap through the night. We froze, our eyes widening as the men turned toward our direction. Adrenaline surged as we sprinted through the trees, their menacing shouts echoing behind us. Gasping for breath, we burst into the edge of the forest, heartbeats drowning out the distant cries. The ghost town stared back at us, as if mocking our escape. We made our way back to campus, desperate to erase the images burned into our memories. The next day, Yak and I, haunted by the events, decide to report what we witnessed to campus officers and local police. To our bewilderment, they found nothing. No trace of the ghost town, no evidence of the ritual, just a dense forest that seemed untouched by the horrors we described. The mystery lingered, unexplained and unsettling. So here's my advice, dear listeners. If you ever find yourself in the depths of a forest, be cautious. Nature hides secrets, and some mysteries are best left untouched. If you stumble upon something that sends shivers down your spine, don't wait, run. Some nightmares aren't meant to be unraveled, for the forest of fear may hold more than meets the eye. Stay safe, and may your nights be free of such haunting tales. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, where the dense foliage whispered secrets and the moon cast an eerie glow on the winding rivers, a small indigenous tribe prepared for their annual celebration. Among them was a group of children, wide-eyed and excited, eagerly awaiting the midnight adventure that would turn their innocent joy into a nightmarish ordeal. As the rhythmic beat of drums echoed through the jungle, the children adorned themselves in tribal makeup and vibrant costumes. Their destination? An imaginary island, rumored to hold a treasure that would bring prosperity to their tribe. Little did they know that their journey would take a dark turn into the realms of fear. The night was thick with humidity, and the air clung to their painted skin as they embarked on a rickety boat adorned with flickering torches. Laughter and chatter filled the air, the anticipation of their quest overshadowing any hint of trepidation. The flickering torchlight danced on the river's surface, creating an otherworldly path that beckoned them into the unknown. As the boat navigated the labyrinthine waterways, the children's excitement reached a fever pitch. the rhythmic paddling synchronized with the drums, and their innocent voices harmonized with the nocturnal symphony of the jungle. However, unbeknownst to them, eyes watched from the shadows, a sinister presence lurking beyond the dance of torchlight. It was as the boat neared a particularly dense thicket that the festive atmosphere took a sinister turn. Suddenly, from the obscurity of the foliage emerged figures, cloaked in darkness. Their faces were obscured by masks, and the moonlight glinted off the barrels of their guns. The air grew heavy with tension as the children realized they were not alone in the jungle. The armed strangers, mistaking the children for members of a rival tribe, approached with a menacing swagger. Panic gripped the youngsters as the festive masks of celebration transformed into the cold, unyielding faces of danger. The drum beats, once a source of excitement, now mirrored the pounding of their terrified hearts. Held at gunpoint, the children trembled in fear. The armed strangers spoke in an unfamiliar language, their voices a harsh discord against the natural melody of the jungle. The 7-year-old narrator, eyes wide with terror, clutched onto a handmade treasure map, now seemingly trivial in the face of real peril. As the tension peaked, an unexpected twist unfolded. A murmur passed among the armed strangers, and realization dawned on them. The children were not who they thought. A mix of relief and confusion filled the air as the strangers hesitated, grappling with the consequences of their mistake. In an instant, the atmosphere shifted. The strangers, now realizing their error, retreated into the shadows, disappearing as swiftly as they had come. The children were left bewildered, the memory of cold metal against their foreheads still vivid in their minds. The boat continued its journey to the imaginary island, but the festive spirit had been replaced by a lingering sense of dread. The children, sworn to secrecy, feared the consequences of revealing the truth about that harrowing night. The jungle itself seemed to conceal their secret, the rustling leaves and distant calls of nocturnal creatures guarding the story buried within the heart of the Amazon. As the years passed, the incident became a chilling memory shared among the children, now adults haunted by the shadows of that fateful celebration. The Amazon, a vast and impenetrable fortress, held onto its secrets, leaving the children with a whispered warning that danger could emerge even in the midst of jubilation. The advice born from this nightmarish encounter echoes through the dense foliage of the Amazon. Trust not only in the joyous beats of celebration, but also in the gut-wrenching drumroll of fear. Sometimes danger wears a mask, lurking in the shadows, and it is our intuition that can guide us safely through the thickets of uncertainty. In the heart of the jungle, where reality blurs with imagination, the line between celebration and terror is perilously thin. The dense forest, shrouded in an inky darkness, echoed with the symphony of night creatures as I drove down the winding road toward my girlfriend's secluded property. She lived in a quaint cabin nestled within the embrace of towering trees. The isolation of her home had always been its charm, a peaceful retreat from the chaos of the city. Little did I know that the serenity would soon morph into a nightmare. The first sign of unease crept over me as I parked my car near a makeshift lot surrounded by gnarled branches. The night seemed to swallow the surroundings, amplifying every rustle and creak. Ignoring the subtle anxiety, I trudged towards the cabin, eager to embrace the warmth of my girlfriend's company. The forest exhaled a chilling breeze, and the distant hoot of an owl seemed to forewarn of something amiss. As I approached the cabin, the soft glow of lamplight spilled through the windows, creating a haven against the encroaching darkness. My girlfriend welcomed me with a smile, oblivious to the unease gripping my senses. The night progressed with laughter and shared stories, yet an unshakable feeling lingered. As the clock struck midnight, I decided to head back to my car, intending to leave before the night's whispers became too loud. The forest had transformed. The once welcoming shadows now concealed something sinister. Heavy footsteps echoed through the trees, and the rustling of leaves turned into a symphony of menace. Every snap of a twig resonated in the air, amplifying my heartbeat. I quickened my pace, my footsteps echoing off the trees. The forest seemed to close in around me, as if the shadows themselves were reaching out to snatch me. Anxiety gripped me as I reached the makeshift parking lot. The moonlight revealed nothing but the ominous dance of the branches, casting unsettling shapes on the ground. Suddenly, a hooded figure emerged from the darkness. Panic surged through me, freezing me in my tracks. The figure stood still, face concealed, but I felt its gaze piercing through the fabric. My mind raced, contemplating the safest route back to the cabin. I turned and fled, the crunching of leaves beneath my feet competing with the pounding of my heart. The figure gave chase, its footsteps synchronized with mine. Panic consumed me as I sprinted towards the cabin, desperate to reach the safety of its light. The night erupted with the sound of a creak, and my pulse quickened. I dared a glance over my shoulder and saw the figure, still in pursuit, leaping effortlessly over the water. The realization struck me like a physical blow. This was no ordinary stalker. I burst through the cabin door, breathless and terrified. My girlfriend, alarmed by my disheveled appearance, listened as I recounted the night's horrors. The sound of footsteps outside grew distant, but the fear lingered. Days turned into sleepless nights as the stalking continued. The figure remained an enigma, lurking in the shadows, a constant threat to our peace. The police were no help. They found nothing, no evidence of intrusion or signs of the mysterious pursuer. One night, as the forest whispered its unsettling secrets, I mustered the courage to confront the figure. Armed with a flashlight, I ventured into the darkness. The beam danced over trees, revealing nothing but the eerie stillness of the night. Suddenly, a whisper echoed through the trees, chilling me to the bone. "Leave." The voice, ethereal and haunting, seemed to come from the very fabric of the night. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding, and realized the figure was a manifestation of something otherworldly, a guardian of the woods, angered by my intrusion. In the end, I heeded the warning, fleeing from the forest that had become a realm of nightmares. The stalking ceased, but the memory lingered, a haunting reminder of the thin veil between the familiar and the supernatural. The advice to the listener: sometimes it's wiser to respect the unknown, to acknowledge that there are forces beyond our understanding. The shadows may hide more than we can fathom, and in our pursuit of curiosity, we might awaken something best left undisturbed. When the night whispers its warnings, listen carefully. The darkness may hold secrets that are better left untouched.